What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Point Park Esports. My name is Alex Sears, aka Nighthawk, and I'm here with a beautiful special guest, my boy
Shandon Walsh, and we're going to be casting Valorant for the first time tonight, so bear with me here.
First time for Shandon here. Tonight's going to be Valorant East 3 playoff time. Valorant made it, and we're super grateful for Point Park Esports. Point Park Esports ended up, what, 2-4 this season? 2-5? 2-5?
Rocking with a 2-5 record. You know, it's the first time that we've seen a playoff clinch where they're facing a team they've already faced. So this should be interesting because what we're presented with is a winnable game and an opportunity to advance further in the playoffs for the first time in the past 3 years.
Yes, West Virginia Wesleyan ended up having a 5-1, 5-2 record between the two. It was very dominant throughout the season, and I'm excited for this matchup because last time we played West Virginia Wesleyan, it came down to a 14-12, 13-11 matchup, which ended up going to West Virginia Wesleyan's favor in a 2-0 matchup. But let's get back to our former matchups. Point Park Esports ended up playing against Florida International last week. They ended up losing 2-0, and I mean, player of the game has to go to Ari Cast. Absolute dominant performance.
Unbelievable performance from Ari. You know, that loss right there before coming into the playoffs with this clinch here. Let's just hope they can shake it off. I think there's a lot of potential tonight. Like you said, they fell to Wesleyan in two close rounds. So, you know, a lot of potential to actually bring that win home tonight. And, you know, I think we'll see it happen. If we have another Ari performance like against Florida, there's no way they won't.
Yeah, absolutely. And about West Virginia Wesleyan, what did they do last night, or last week, as I may say?
So last week they played against DeSales University. That game was relatively close. They ended up winning. It went in their favor. They ended up winning 2-1. Seems that they went to a game 3, and that's where they ended up. So
yeah, ended up going into overtime game 3, sudden death. Everyone loves sudden death game matches. Everyone's just hyped up. 2-1 matchup. It's super exciting. You get a 1-1 tie. You come back from the first game after a loss, and then it's just like everyone's just like, all right, we got to get this win. We got to get this win. Of course, it looks to me like we're gonna get number 3 West Virginia Wesleyan versus number 6 Point Park University, of course. And then next Monday we're actually going to get Rocket League. Number 2 Rocket League is going to be playing in their playoff game for the East 6 Division title.
Rocket League will be continuing over the next 2 weeks because we are going to see a continuation of their season here. You know, a lot of confidence in Rocket League and a lot of confidence in Val tonight as well. Wesleyan, you know, they've been in the W column a lot this season, but every single one of their games, looking back historically, they've been relatively close games.
Let's get to the lineups. Back over to the camera. Yes, sir. Let's get to the lineups. The lineups tonight, it's going to be Creep, Clark, Muzzled Yeti, To the Moon and Back, and Ari Cast, with subs like Kirsten Daystar and Coach Kai. But it looks like Coach Kai isn't going to be present with us today, so it's going to be all Coach Chris Gall. Mona, a.k.a. To the Moon and Back, is going to be playing for Daystar. Daystar will not be attending today's game, and it will be all up to the Moon and Back. This will be her second game back-to-back with the team. And then looking at West Virginia Wesleyan University's lineup, what do you got for me, Shannon?
So we got Tuckman 321, Rael 339, Axe Panda, Alita, and Mizzle.
What's the subs there, man?
So we're going to be subbing out with Spiral Drips, Otaya, Gamer Gus, Isaiah, and O Poppy.
That's really interesting that you say that they're subs, considering that those were the 5 players that ended up playing us in the game against Point Park University and West Virginia Wesleyan during the regular season. I'm thinking that they might be playing with those guys again. I'm not sure, though, the past 2 games that they've been using the other 5 players.
So Wesleyan is one of those rare schools we see where they do have 2 separate Valorant teams. So we should be facing that sub team. I'd assume that they're going to put that same team that beat us last time in, which, you know, that's in good faith for our team, considering that they were able to push that game into extra rounds.
Absolutely. And the coach that is going to be expressing for West Virginia Wesleyan, who do you got?
We got Coach Squid 7S in the game tonight.
Absolutely. Let's talk about individual players. Last week's player of the game, Ari Cass. Ari Cass has dropped 218 kills this regular season with 52 assists and a 1.08 KD. Ari is known to play Sentinel and is more commonly picking Cypher or KJ. They are Diamond 3, but tonight is going to be a little bit of change. We heard from the coach that he or she is going to be playing Initiator. So fun times. Initiator, definitely going to give the role to Mona, who's going to be playing Sentinel. Moving on, the captain of the Valorant team. What you got for me, Shannon?
So we got Creep. captain tonight. Creep is rocking with a 1.24 KD, so to have that high positive is awesome. He's sitting at 252 kills and 84 assists on the season. That's a star player mentality right there. We're hoping Creep keeps the energy up tonight. That's his specialty. He's a 4-time PPU record holder as well for most kills all game, and he actually did set this record against Wesleyan last time when they met, and he was able to bring that record up to 43 kills in a single game.
Absolutely. 4-time Point Park record holder. That to me is a captain in his own self. He usually plays controller, but tonight he said to coach, he was like, get me on the duelist, dude. I'm feeling nice tonight.
So we may be seeing a double duelist tonight, which is going to be an interesting lineup, but I think Creep's on to something.
I think we're more comfortable with the double duelist. Usually it's Clark and Yeti, but now it's going to be Yeti and Creep tonight. Speaking of tonight, To the Moon and Back with their second game so far. She has been her first game since like last season. 9 kills, 6 assists. Wasn't too bad for the whole season. She's got 9 kills and 6 assists, and she's playing in her first ever playoff game.
So I was going to say we had To the Moon and Back play in the fall. She hasn't played since. She did play for a sub then as well. But seeing her back in the game, we're going to get a new dynamic tonight. Hoping that she fits in really well with that Sentinel, averagely playing the Sentinel.
I mean, that's her main thing. She loves playing Sentinel. Last week they had her on, I believe, a duelist, and it was really uncomfortable for me to watch. But therefore, she's back on the Sentinel. I think she's going to play way better than she ever has been, and I feel like we're going to see a different Mona tonight. Talking about map picks are going to be happening soon, and you guys on this big screen will be able to see the map picks on the right side. Point Park's favorite map to play on is Haven, 29% pick rate with a 13% win ratio, and Coach Chris's record with the team is 5-15. So, yeah. We try our best to get the wins as much as possible, but Point Park is growing in team mental and team health throughout the years that go by. Speaking of team health, if you already haven't noticed, Point Park Esports for the past few weeks have been going into a restruction. We are actually going to be able to bring students that are from high schools into Point Park Esports. So if you are looking to be part of the esports program for us at Point Park Esports, come to Point Park. I mean, it's a good college.
The energy in this back room out front, especially with Creep and the entire Val team tonight, these are things that are unmatched anywhere else on campus at any other college around here as well. It's an energy that you can't beat. You can't beat it at all. And, that's what we're all here for. And we strive to keep that energy going, keep a good mentality, and bring you guys great productions as well.
Now that you mention energy, we also need to talk about the sponsor today.
True.
What is our sponsor here, DeShannon?
As always, Red Bull carrying our backs. Got to tell you, I had a long day of classes today. Was grinding out a lot of work. Nothing's keeping me going like this Red Bull is right now. So it's
that 3-hour sleep schedule where you've been powered with homework, you've been powered with classes. We got the Red Bull, man. You'll be awake for the next 24 hours.
Yeah, it doesn't give me wings, but it keeps me flying as long as I need to be.
Absolutely, yeah. You can't think about Red Bull where it's like it gives you wings, but it doesn't really give you wings.
Yeah.
So,
but it's coming into finals here, everybody seems to be a lot busier, and I'm hoping this Val team was able to put in the time this week, and we're going to see a high performance from them. Maybe each of them just needs a Red Bull, and we'll be looking at the W column, sitting in the green, going into next week, feeling good about ourselves.
One of my biggest sayings, and I believe it was erased off the board for the time being, my biggest quote is "Tonight is about us."
It's always about us.
Let's make it tonight about us. Let's beat West Virginia Wesleyan. This is a big rivalry. If you haven't looked at Point Park Esports, we've faced West Virginia. We've faced Virginia Wesleyan. Both West Virginia and Virginia Wesleyan schools we've played dominantly against each other, and it's just like the rivalry is growing. Both teams, I feel like, hate each other.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe historically against West Virginia Wesleyan, we are 1-2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, the Virginia Wesleyan and West Virginia Wesleyan, the rivalries are just aggressive, and it looks like we're going to see Ascent from West Virginia Wesleyan. That is an absolutely banger of a map. Unfortunately, though, the Sova trick is not going to be available because they have buried up the wall. It's now a metal wall. You can't shoot through it now. But Silva is still a powerful pick, and I think that might be a good initiator pick for Ascent. I'm excited to see some Ascent play. I haven't seen some Ascent play in a while.
I will say Point Park comes in with a very competitive play style on Ascent, and that's what we like to see. These are two very competitive teams. Hopefully they're going for, a fast-paced style tonight, as we have seen with Wesleyan before as well. So I think Ascent's going to be a good pick for both sides. Hopefully we're giving Point Park that little bit of an advantage on Ascent. I've seen Creep practicing Ascent a lot recently. So we'll see what kind of strategies he's come up with.
So there's two maps that I come in mind when it comes to Point Park's pick, and that's an interesting pick, actually. Haven, not a pick that I thought Point Park would make, considering that I was hearing some conversations. Fracture was in the air. Same thing with Icebox. Icebox was also in the air. That's Clark's map, man. Clark really wanted Icebox, but it looks like they're going to go with the map that they're the most comfortable with and the map that they've picked the most, which is Haven.
I was going to say that Icebox pick would have been nice to see, but as far as Icebox goes, not everybody's strong with it. I think Haven's a comfortable pick where we've seen success and we can recreate that success. Whereas, something like Icebox or even Ascent, which is the first map picked here, you see a lot of high contest. So I think Haven's a very comfortable map that we know how to strategize and play.
I love these map picks as well, considering this is just looking like an all-out classic. Ascent and Haven are both older maps, both one of the first few maps that came out, and this map pull is just classic, a screaming classic. And I honestly think tonight between West Virginia Wesleyan and Point Park Esports, if you haven't been watching the rivalry in the past few years, this right here is going to be a classic.
Absolutely. And I'm curious to see what this decider here is going to be. Hopefully we don't need the decider, but Wesleyan is a very good team, and we could see Point Park get a run for their money this
season. Yeah, I could see a decider. They beat us 2-0 this season. I think we could pull off a win. We might go to decider.
Like I said, it went to extra rounds last time these two met. So, knowing that they can keep that score close and push it to extra rounds, even in a single game, it's going to be very interesting to see how this one falls tonight. I'm very excited.
I think that decider, if they were going to choose anything, it'd be between Fracture and Icebox.
Absolutely. I think they might lean a little more Fracture here.
Yeah, I think Fracture is the better choice, especially with Creep and Ari on the team. No offense to Clark. I know Clark's favorite map is Icebox, and he is super dominant on it. But Ari and Creep just make, oh my gosh, Fracture they're so good together on Fracture. It's like the chemistry is just too nice. And the fact, whoa.
All right, looks like the decider is going a little off the rails here.
That is Lotus. Holy. First of all, that is a map that Creep hates the most. Same thing with Ari. Both players hate this map so much.
Now, do we think Coach made the executive decision to push for Lotus now with Creep playing Duelist? Do you think that has a little answer?
I don't know. If I was Creep, I wouldn't even put Lotus on the map pool. I'd have banned the Lotus.
Absolutely.
I'd have banned Lotus. I hate it so much. But
typically, that is a map that gets banned. We've seen that a couple times now.
That is, I didn't see that coming. I was thinking maybe something better than that. But it looks like they are going to push for Lotus. I hope that Point Park knows what they're doing, and if they do end up getting the decider, I feel like Creep's mental might just drop because this map just sucks.
I was going to say, we can see Creep looking at his computer here. He himself may be questioning this Lotus call, and we have Coach Chris next to him here, helping him understand why we're taking this route.
Yeah, that's an understanding route, I guess. Maybe they picked Lotus, and that we were like, but do we pick Lotus? Or maybe there was a ban phase. I think there's a ban phase. They ban maps until they get to a certain point.
Yeah, so they do that before the game. They actually go in and create the map pool, typically about 15 minutes to a half hour before the game starts. So they do discuss this beforehand. I'm very curious as to why Lotus wasn't one of our bans, because he typically is.
Yeah, typically Lotus is one of our better, our first bans, because Lotus is just a map that not a lot of the players here really typically like. I mean, Haven, that makes sense, but Ascent, like, you have Ascent and Lotus. Like, those are maps that I don't, like, Point Park, I'm not screaming that. Like, I'm not screaming Point Park's choices. Like, Fracture, that's a Point Park move. Icebox, that's a Point Park move. Haven's a Point Park move. Like, that makes more sense to me. But to see Lotus and Ascent on the board, that's just yuck.
Well, this could lead to an interesting play style here. They'll have to adjust accordingly. Lotus isn't a map they play often, so it's going to be interesting to see how they adapt to this. And, hopefully we don't push into the decider.
I say Lotus has been part of the map pool for a long time, and I think it's like a smart choice because you're going from Haven to Lotus because both maps are 3-sided maps.
That is true.
So you get comfortable with the fact that you've played Haven for so long, and then you get to play Lotus, which is also a 3-sided map. Lotus is not my favorite type of map. Honestly, my favorite map isn't even up here. And that's
what is your favorite map?
Icebox.
Oh, okay.
Icebox is awesome.
That's a fair take.
I love playing Harbor.
Yeah, I was gonna say Harbor. I'm a weird guy if I say Harbor, but that's what we'll stick with.
Yeah, I love Harbor on Icebox. It's super awesome. I've gotten some negativity to my Harbor play, but I just like rushing with Harbor because it's fun.
The rush play style on Harbor, that's the way to go every time.
I mean, wall, wave, wall. It's just disgusting.
Absolutely.
So, Mona, give us some signs that you can hear us in the back. Oh, yeah.
Oh, look at that. The double Red Bull. She's even got the pink edition.
Yo, Red Bull, you need to step up our game. We need the pink edition, man. Where's our pink edition for Mona? Gotta get signed like Mona. Have her face on the Red Bull, right? Have her face on the Red Bull with a Point Park logo at the bottom.
I'd be buying the whole stock.
Bro, I'd be buying the whole stock too.
Looks like Creep's already got pretty high energy here as he's talking to everybody. Coach is going over some last-minute notes here. Creep might be a little higher energy because he actually did celebrate his birthday yesterday as well. So,
happy birthday, Creep.
Yeah, hopefully that birthday luck is carrying into today.
Maybe he'll drop another 40 bomb. We'll see another breaking of a record. Interesting.
Maybe we'll even be able to witness a 50 live tonight.
Ooh, a 50, that's a hard... I haven't seen someone hit a 50 bomb ever.
It's true. I've yet to witness it either. And you know what? If he is able to pull that 50, I would love to see it on Lotus of all places.
I would say Creep is the only person to hit 40.
Yeah, that's previous record was held by Cursed, right?
Yeah, it was Coulson. Coulson, 39 kills, and Coulson's record got smashed.
We would consistently back in the day see high 20s, low 30s from Sinceri.
Yeah, Sinceri actually held the record. It was 39, and then Cursed broke it.
And then we saw that recently broken by Creep this season, against West Virginia.
So honestly, back-to-back seasons of broken records.
True.
For the kill record. True. So
Creep also has the assist record, yeah?
Yeah, 21 assists. I mean, you can't beat that, dude. Actually, fun fact, if I was playing for the team the other day, I was playing on Brim, I had 22 assists. I would have broke the record.
On Brim of all places.
No, because if you put down his ability, because it makes you walk fast, but it also gives you everyone damage buffs.
Yeah, true.
To your guns. So
true.
If I put it down while we're rushing and they kill people, I get assists for that. And I was averaging 3 assists a round.
So you would consider yourself a rush player all around? Typically your strategy?
Depends on what kind of comp I'm dealing with. Because if I'm running Brim, I like to rush because I like using I like placing my smokes and then going fast. Harbor, I like rushing. With Viper, not so much. I don't like doing that with Viper. I like doing slow pushes with Viper.
Because of the util?
Yeah, because of util. Yeah, it's just you have to place the wall at a certain point because sometimes the wall doesn't work if you move up away. It's just weird. I prefer playing Viper on Split.
Okay, I could see a nice Viper on Split.
Yeah, there's some really good lineups for Split. I like playing. Let's see. I like playing Clove. I like playing Clove a lot on Split too. If I'm playing Clove, I like to rush because Clove is a duelist controller.
True, that is very true.
So she's really nice.
Are we seeing Clark on Clove this season?
Yeah, I think Clark's gonna play on Clove. I think Clark's gonna switch to controller. We'll have Creep on duelist and then Ari cast on Initiator, and then Mona on Sentinel. So, and the only person that's not switching is Aiden Yeti.
remaining on.
Yeah, on Duelist.
On Duelist, yep.
Yeah, he's gonna play Phoenix. He was crying the other day because Reyna was not working. Reyna got taken away from the map pool, or not the comp pool, and like everything, because it was like not working at all. So for like a week, he was just like, well, I can't do anything.
Yeah, it's one of those things that just sucks to see. You know, Valorant over the past 2 years has made a lot of changes. As far as comp, I know comp is mostly controlled by Nace, but we've seen changes where certain maps have been banned. I don't know if you remember the whole issue with Gecko initially.
You think so?
So when Gecko first released, there was a whole argument whether Gecko should be allowed in comp or not. And we actually had teams that were playing Gecko. So there were a few games that we had to talk about the possibility of, will this game become a forfeit because of that usage?
Yeah, so. Gecko's really strong because you can get intel from Gecko's flashes, and then the molly is just disgusting. The splatter effect of the molly is just the damage it does. It's just gross. Like if you're holding Spike, you pretty much SOL. And then of course the wingman. I mean, who doesn't love the wingman? The wingman's awesome. And then his ultimate, if it hits the entire team, they're cooked. Like there's nothing they can do.
And it's interesting too, because that Gecko release was mid-season for us. It was, I believe, fall of 2023. And you know, seeing Gecko emerge into comp was life-changing.
Yeah, right. Now you see Daystar playing on Gecko, but more playing on Breach lately. But I like Daystar's Gecko's playstyle. Like the Daystar Gecko playstyle that he has is really fun to watch.
Yeah, I could agree with that as well. Definitely like seeing Daystar on Gecko. I mean, as far as everybody else, where do you like to see them?
I like Creep on Astra. Creep has played 900 consecutive comp games on Astra, and I think he has the most fun playing on Astra or a Duelist. Depending on the Duelist, maybe like Jet. But who doesn't like playing Jet? Like,
yeah, I was going to say Jet's always a fun one to play. And, you know, we've noticed with Creep too, I don't know if you've noticed this, but when he plays Duelist, he tends to be a lot more upbeat, energetic, because he's enjoying that pace.
Yeah. When it comes to Ari, I love seeing Ari on KJ. KJ is just her domain. She has so many setups for KJ. It's ridiculous. I think she gets the most value when playing Killjoy. When it comes,
Ari's an unbelievable player to begin with as well.
I was gonna say that it goes to the same thing with Mona. I think Mona has better focus on Killjoy as well. Also Deadlock. I think she's played Deadlock before.
Has she played Deadlock in comp?
Yes, I think she's played Deadlock before. I think she likes playing Deadlock a lot. With Yeti, I love his Reyna. But I'm also starting to love his Phoenix because he's been he's more comfortable on Phoenix, he says, but I think his Reyna's better because he's just played it a lot. And then when it comes to Clark, I love Clark's Jet or Clove.
True. Okay. Yeah, Clark on Clove is a little bit more interesting, I'd say. Remember back in the days when Clark would run Omen? 24/7.
Oh my gosh, his Omen gameplay was disgusting.
It was, you know. I believe the Clark Ace was an Omen game.
The one that's on our Twitch?
Yeah.
No, that's Jet.
Was that a Jet?
Yeah, that was actually my first ever casting.
Oh wow, okay.
Okay, and then it was with Caleb, and we did it was a Jet Ace on Icebox because he got like 4 in a row, and then he finished them off with the ult. It was great.
Looks like we're going in here.
Yeah, the Ascent, the beauty of the map. Actually, you know, I've had so many people comment on the fact that we had these clips on for like every map. It's so nice. I love them. They're awesome. Shout out to Nate. So, and it looks like I was right.
Yeah, wait a minute. With the subs.
Wait a minute. No, I was wrong. Spiral, Gamer Gus, Otaya, and Opapi
are all the subs. Yeah.
Technically, and I believe they're going to be starting. However, there is a new player that I have not seen before, and I don't think I had them on the roster. And that is Dean PS.
Dean PS is not listed here, so it's going to be interesting to see.
That is an interesting pull because Dean PS actually isn't part of the list of players. So I don't know if like that's a add-on or
Hey, let's just hope they're not pulling a secret weapon here, knowing Point Park gave them a run for their money last time.
To the Moon and Back is going to be playing on the Killjoy. I'm comfortable with that. Muzzled Yeti, Phoenix, Creep on the Jet, Clark on the Clove, and we see Ari cast on the Teo.
Teo was an interesting take there for Ari, but, you know, like I said, she's an unbelievable player.
And then we got Spiral Drip, Cypher, Gamer Gus on the Breach. We have Otea on the Jet, so Jet action. We got some Clove action, and then KO. So some different comps, but the Clove and the Jet are very similar. No Sova. Wow. Okay. I was hoping to see a Sova, but I guess not. I guess with the new wall, Sova's just not playable on this map.
Hey, the Sova trick was the way to gain an advantage in this map, and without that,
yeah, you see. Hold on, I'll show you here in a second if it goes over to the wall. There's on that like B site, right?
Yep.
That wall, you saw that wall on the right that was all metalled. It was all able to shoot through, so you would able to Sova dart, be able to see where they were, and then take an Odin and just shoot through them. It was disgusting, and I'm glad they got rid of it, but like, it just made Sova useless on this map. I'm excited to see the first game and the first round of the East 3 playoffs. Let's get it started, baby. Let's go. All right, we get to see some Jet smokes, some Clove smokes in the back of mid-market.
Make this first contact here.
Gamer Gus is backing up with Breach. We see the KO dart, or the KO knife. Oh, Creep gets
taken down.
Creep gets pummeled. So, oh, nice picks from DPS and Spiral Drips.
Clark making contact with Poppy here, and he gets the kill.
Beautiful pick off by Clark, and now Clark is the only player left for Point Park. It is a 3v1. He's going to be shimming back behind B bottom, so near their spawn. I don't know if he knows where anybody is. He's going to take his time. Does he have Spike? No, that he does not.
He does not.
Oh, he does Spike. He does have Spike. I just couldn't see the Spike underneath the Point Park Esports graphics that are done by our beautiful graphic designers. So,
looking like Clark's going to turn it back here and go peek around the backside.
He needs to pay attention here. Oh, and no, Spiral Drips gets the finishing kill. The headshot, dead shot. It's going to be a 3-on-0 action, and Point Park is going to lose the first round of the East 3 divisional playoffs. Round 1 in the books.
I was going to say, it's difficult coming out of that 3v1 situation there. Clark was able to hold his own for a little bit, but pushing backwards into that area, he was met with some competition there with 3 players sitting comfortably. So we're going to see how they'll adjust to that.
DNPS, new player that we haven't seen before, already has 2 kills right off the bat. Interesting playstyle. Poppy, whoa, my goodness, gets a nasty kill and a nasty angle off of Muzzle Yeti. Muzzle Yeti should have flashed mid. We should have seen a smoke mid, actually. We didn't get that smoke mid, unfortunately.
Looks like Clark pushing on Gamer Gus there. No result yet.
And Marky Poppy gets a second kill off Creep, so now looking for a third. Might get it if she has the angle. Clark trying to fight off Cypher and Poppy, but Poppy gets the third. That's to the Moon and back, and Spiral and Ari Cast falls. That is a flawless victory for West Virginia Wesleyan. That is 2-0, and Point Park can now buy. So maybe that's what they were looking forward to get to the buy round, get our steps moving a little bit. So this will be the bonus for West Virginia Wesleyan, and hopefully Point Park doesn't lose any players on the final contact between round 2 and 3.
So. I was gonna say we're down 2 rounds here. It's not too big of a disadvantage here. They just play style, and especially after a bye, we're gonna be coming in a lot stronger here. Players are gonna be feeling a lot more confident. Got Poppy taking the snipes early on again as well.
That angle is deadly, but it looks like Ari Cass was able to, do a little dodging movement with the knife action. It looks like they might be playing a slow A push. Yeah. We're playing a little bit of a default though, actually. So Clark sitting mid with the spike. Not sure why he has the spike. Actually, he should probably drop that off somewhere so he doesn't die with it in middle, because if you die with it in middle, it's like really sucks. Art Cass has been hit for a lot. Ooh, Taya tried with a sniper shot, didn't get it to work. Blind.
Here comes the the pacing of that A push is picking up a little bit here.
You need to get on site. Nice kill by Creep. Creep getting into sight. Quick as usual. Gets spiral dips. Creep trying to look through the smoke. They're going to be able to successfully plant. All 4 are up top, so they might be able. And here comes some shots. Ari Cass trying to shoot through the floor. Poppy with a nice sniper shot. Gamer Gus also gets a pick, but Creep gets Gamer Gus. Creep gets Dean PS. He's on a triple. Hold on a second. Creep looking really nice right now. Creep with a quad. Can we see an ace right off the bat? Creep dashes out, trying to get Opapi. Opapi gets Creep, though. There goes his ace. He doesn't get the ace, unfortunately.
Still got the quad, though, so he's still rolling in strong.
That is a really nice quad. Ari Cast. Nice. Muzzled Yeti finishes it off, and the round goes to Point Park. What a round from Creep.
Absolutely.
4K, baby. Birthday special. We should have named the video clip Creep's birthday special. Instead of Point Park versus West Virginia Wesleyan. It sounds boring. No one's going to watch that. We'll watch Creep's birthday special. Everyone's going to cheer Creep a happy birthday. Can we get Creep a happy birthday in the chat, folks?
Happy birthday, Creep.
Yes, sir.
Looking like Creep leading it off here with a 4-3 KD here. Econ was looking actually pretty solid.
Yeah, Econ looks really solid. I think Creep was able to buy himself after those 4 kills that he was capable of getting, and Creep actually has pulled out the knives. So here we go. Creep with the ultimate popped immediately.
It's pretty early to pop the ult there.
Nah, I think after dying there, it's a smart play to bring out knives. You don't have a gun. So Ari Cass with a nice pick on Spiral, and I think they're going to be able to get the push on A. Otaye dies to the moon and back. That's a nice kill from Mona. Poppy falls to the moon and back. Nice picks. She has a double. Creep gets a nice kill on Dean PS. And Muzzled Yeti finishes off with Gamer Gus. What a move there.
Gonna bring us up to 2-2 here.
Yes, sir. They're sliding the DMs on the A push, and it looking really nice.
Nice to see him kill by To the Moon and back as well there.
She got 2 there, and so did Muzzled Yeti. So 2 of the lower players that aren't capable of doing a lot that the star players have, they are playing. You know, they're doing their player roles. They're being role players. So
look at our economy here, looking really sound actually.
And it looks like the other team is not capable of buying, which is really good for us. We could take the lead here with a solid B push. Let's see what we got here. A Poppy with a shotgun, sitting behind a close smoke. I don't think anybody's going to go middle there, and I don't think anybody's going to go challenge that. It makes sense that Poppy was probably sitting in that smoke. That's what I would be thinking.
Ari has a beautiful angle up top there, but doesn't look like anybody's going to be peeking out.
Slowly pushing Creep, trying to see anybody mid. Doesn't see Poppy, who's been sitting in the corner. Ari Cash drawing out to see if A is clear again. But they notice that there is a Cypher on there, so it's not very clear. Creep gets a nice kill on Gamer Gus, and that's first blood. Creep going around the corner. Oh, a Poppy, though, founds him with a shotgun. And Otai there. Oh, and Otai gets the kill on To the Moon and back, so unfortunately they lost a Vandal. And that Vandal's going to go to the Jet, which is not a good sign. Muzzled Yeti gets hit by the Clove Molly.
Might make contact here with Spiral, depending on what happens with that top peak there.
Dean PS with a nice kill on Ari. Spiral drips kills Muzzled Yeti. Clark gets kill on the Spiral drips, but Otaye finishes it off. West Virginia Wesleyan, even though with the non-good economy, we're able to pick off the win. Get a nice little 3-2 situation going for West Virginia Wesleyan.
We might be seeing a repeat of how this last matchup went. We did see a very early back and forth as well.
Back and forth is how we like it. And it looks like we might be able to force here, might be able to buy. We should be able to buy for others here. To the Moon and back with a Spectre. Creep should be able to buy. Yep, Creep able to buy here. Oh, Poppy sitting middle with a Vandal.
Creep going to make first contact here.
The flash coming out by Dean PS on the KO. And here comes the knife. They're all suppressed a little bit.
Seeing a very heavy
nice
right here. Creep with the first one.
Yeah, Creep with the first blood on Dean PS. Nice little headshot there with the Vandal. And that's what he gets for trying to push there. Not a strong initiator choice. And it looks like they might be deciding on to rotate. Maybe not. I don't know. There's some call-outs that are being expressed, trying to figure out where everyone is on the side of Poppy sitting middle.
I'm going to say, we see 2 rotating mid now. You've still got 2 pushing into B, which is going to be...
And, oh, Muzzled Yeti falls to a Poppy right away. So they're down a duelist.
Got creep into the moon and back, realizing nobody's sitting in B anymore. Looks like we might be seeing a little bit of a push forward from them.
Yeah, creep sitting on... Ari Cass also falls to a Poppy being very strong in the middle. Gamer Gus gets to the moon and back. It's 4v2 situation. Creep trying to back up here. Clark
getting the plan off. Here we go.
Clark in but it looks like Cypher knows where everyone is. Creep gets the kill on Spiral, but Otay gets the kill on Creep. It is now just Clark. Clark is in a bit of a situation here. Cannot see. Here comes the flash. Nice kill.
Gets it.
But can get the finish. Oh, Clark pops the ult. And does not get it. Does not get away, and it gets the triple for a Poppy. Poppy very strong. A strong middle control from their Clove. And they need to get rid of that middle control that a Poppy contains.
Absolutely, and they were able to get that defuse off in time as well, so that round's going to fall to Wesleyan.
It looks like we're going to get a timeout for Point Park right here, right now. This makes perfect sense. We're halfway through the round on attack side, and it just makes perfect sense to timeout here. Very strong performance from Creep already. We know that Creep can play very good against this team. Mona is having some strong things going on with Mona and Yeti. Ari having a little bit of an off situation. I think with the switch of the initiator, you gotta control a little bit. Ari's shaking. You can already see, or you can't even see it, but Ari was shaking their hands off to try to get back into the game.
Definitely a tough situation to try and adapt to that change now. The performance out of Yeti and To the Moon and Back as well seems to be helping out a lot, though. We were able to survive those 2 rounds and bring them back, and I think, keeping this game close is going to keep the energy up. And
oh, absolutely.
Hopefully that helps Arya adjust to that change.
I mean, they're only down 2 rounds. They could win these next 2. We already know what Point Park can do after a timeout, and we saw it a couple games ago where they took a timeout and then they went 6 straight. So, looks really nice. Creep is on 8 and 5. Poppy on 9 and 3. Strong Clove. Strong thing for a Poppy. Usually we see Spiral Drips or Gamer Gus do very well. And it looks like they're not playing against those Isaiah, who was the strong duelist that they were playing with. A lot of smoking going on middle. We move on to round 7. Clark is pushing up. They are very strongly pushed up middle.
I was gonna say all five are deep into mid now.
Clark trying to look around, does not see anybody. Nobody is mid. Gamer Gus
peek in the corner here, but nobody there.
Oh, Clark gets Gamer Gus. Nice pick, nice trade. Creep gets a Poppy. Needs to walk away though. Poppy pulls the ult.
Spiral makes contact with Clark and Mona here and manages to get them both. That round is going to fall to Wesleyan.
Spiral Drips, what an angle, was able to keep a hold of Tree there, and that falls to West Virginia Wesleyan. They're now up, 5-2? Or no, 5-2? Yeah, 5-2.
5-2.
Yeah, 5-2. They're up 3 rounds. One more round, and they've done their job this break right here. This rotation.
It was hard to beat that angle, beautiful angle right there by Spiral. It's tough to contest that.
We see the operator pulled out by Otaya. Smart decision to pull out the op here, especially when you're Jet.
Looks like Clark might be making early contact here.
Clark is trying to push as fast as he can, They don't have the guns, but to try to get the kills here would make sense.
Clark gets taken down by Otaya. Spiral Drips gets Creep, and Poppy on Ari right after Ari gets Spiral. So nice little trade action there.
Not a flawless win, but the win does go to West Virginia Wesleyan. They were able to easily just pull on the brakes of the push that Point Park was trying to do. It's now 6-2. They've done their job. They've done it very well this round, and. Now Point Park has to come back from a four game deficit. We need to see more action from Clark and Ari Cass, though. I think, you know, after last week, not only last week, but the week before, Clark was player of the game 2 weeks ago. Ari Cass was player of the game a week ago. Like, you gotta be consistent here.
You know what we're waiting for is those magical words of Coach Chris during that timeout to finally shine through a little bit. Looks like Creep's making contact with Dean PS right here around the corner.
Nice.
Gets the kill. Gamer Gus trades out, gets Creep as well. Looks like Mono's pushing up on Gamer Gus as well.
Makes sense. We have the ultimate from Teo, and we have the ultimate from KJ. Could be a nice KJ ult right here to secure B. They're not all together, so they need to get together. Actually, they're playing a lot of a default here. I don't think default is the answer though.
If I'm that KJ, I'm pulling that ult here. I think so.
I'm pulling the ult too. I'm trying to get everyone off B site, maybe try to fake the B, get everyone over to A site, and be able to plant correctly here.
Looks like they caught sight of Ari right there as well. So we got to watch that B site. Looks like they know, they're aware of the positioning, and they're going to try and put an end to that.
Looks like we're getting the cipher wall up. It looks like we're having both some players move over to A. Makes sense. So Poppy is sitting here at B. I don't think that they're going to stick around though. We get the breach stun. Oh, Poppy with a nice pick. Clark gets a pick. Gamer Gus. Clark gets a second. Clark with a double there, and Clark is on site. Clark is on site.
Looks like he knows the positioning of Spiral there.
Wait a minute. Tejo is going through mid-market. I don't know. Ari Cass with a kill. Ari Cass could get a double. Ari Cass with a double.
Beautiful round win here by Point Park. You know, great performance there. We saw that night 2 double kills there.
Double by Clark, double by Ari Cass. Very strong performance. Like I said, Ari Cass and Clark need to pull on the brakes, and that's what they did. They just did exactly what I said.
They must have heard you.
They need to start rolling. We need to get the dub here, and now it is a 6-3. They need to bring it back 3 more rounds. It looks like Ari Cass is able to buy Creep here, I think, but I think Creep's going to pull the ult.
Yeah, I think you're right on the money with that, and you know, we see a little bit of momentum here from Clark and Ari as well, and those are 2 players that once we get them going, there's no stopping them.
Yeah, this is the second time we've seen Creep with the ult this half, so let's see what's going to happen here. We're not getting a lot of pushing up. They are playing very... Oh, wait a minute.
It's very stagnant, but Ari might make contact here.
Nice, Ari Cass. Nice pick. Ari Cass was able to get the guy off of A. That is the jet down. Now they need to get rid of the Cypher. They know Cypher is in tree, probably. I mean, I would suggest that he's in tree or he's somewhere else. It looks like they're going to try to do an A push, maybe. Or maybe they're already too late. Maybe... The other team has fully come back to the A site. I would go middle here. I would try to go middle, or just play some time. Maybe they thought they switched. Oh, here comes the Killjoy ult, and we might see the Breach ult as well. Killjoy ult popped, and here comes the Breach ult. Here comes a Phoenix ult. Muzzled Yeti tried to kill his own teammate. Gamer Gus gets a pick on Dean and gets a pick on Creep. Muzzled Yeti gets a pick on Gamer Gus. Nice trades.
We're getting PS able to take Clark there as well.
We're getting some nice trades. Dean PS is super low.
3v3 situation right now. 2 low players on each side here. Poppy actually pulls Yeti.
Wow.
Pulls Ari, and that's going to be the round.
It's got to check your corners, man. That's what happens when you don't check your corners, and unfortunately, Phoenix was not checking his corners. Muddled Yeti was not checking his corners, and ended up getting his entire team killed. It just fell down like dominoes. 7-3 half at the moment. We are 2 rounds away from a switch. Maybe we'll see a better defensive side to Point Park, as I believe offense here is... I think this map is honestly a little bit defensive sided.
Yeah, I could see exactly what you mean here, and you know, there's times where we struggle with that defensive side of things. You know, I'd like to see what they do on the offensive flip.
So Clark is trying to see if anybody's middle. It looks like there's a couple players middle actually. Here comes the smoke. Clark maybe doesn't see Otaye. No, doesn't see Otaye. That's unfortunate. Clark pops ult though. He comes back to the party. He's gonna have to rush here, try to get a kill before he dies. And it looks like, yep, Clark's going to die there. Was not able to get a kill, but they, I think, are able to get a site for free here because of that death. So
Muzzled Yeti coming in with the plant. Looks like there's going to be some A-side contact coming up here. Spike planted successfully there.
Ari Cass is underneath to the moon and back.
There's DPS.
Nice.
Gets both kills.
To the moon and back. Just was able to get a double kill right there. That was really good by Mona.
Spiral Drip's trying to avenge there, but Mona was able to get the double kill off.
Downloading enemy positions and
gets Spiral.
And it looks like Point Park. Nice. Creep with a double, but that was all done because Mona just sat back there and just waited.
And notice how they both peeked away from her. That was a perfect positioning on her part.
She just was there, dude. Like, perfect positioning. That's what I'm saying. Mona on the Sentinel's disgusting. And now it's a 7-4 deficit. Like I'm saying, they might come back after this. It might be one of those decision makers where, you know, they give up a one extra round on attack. It's fine.
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
know, because like all they have to do is win pistol round, and it's just like it flips. So you lose 7-5, but if you win the pistol round, you're 7-7 because you win pistol round, then you're gonna win the other round because they only have pistols. They're not gonna win.
Buys. Yeah, exactly.
You have the buys. So it'll just flip into a 7-7 if they get here. If they win the round here.
It's going to be interesting to see how they play this flip as well.
Muzzle Yeti is lurking up.
Gamer Gus looks to be lurking in the opposite direction.
To the moon and back is waiting there. Oh, wow, the timing.
Positioning was sighted, but moon and back was quick to move off that.
Yeah, Gamer Gus now pushing up. Gets the KJ turret and walks away. So, I mean, that's a nice trade. Muzzled Yeti almost gets sighted by the blade there, but I think that was perfect. Creep. Oh, Poppy sitting in the smoke, or not sitting in the smoke, but sitting around the smoke and was able to get Creep off guard there. That's unfortunate. Creep picked off right at the beginning there.
Yeti looking to push up a little hard here through the smoke. Joined by Ari as well as to the moon and back.
And the flash comes out. They need a push here. That had been a strong push here, but it looks like KO ult has been popped.
They have 3 sitting on the other side here. Now 4.
Dean Clark gets a kill on Gamer Gus. So Poppy gets Clark and Spiral gets Muzzled Yeti. We're looking at an 8-4 half. 4 rounds is the deficit. Point Park trying to lock in here. I think if they win the pistol round, this might be a change of hands, but we move on to the defense. Point Park is now defense. West Virginia is now offense. Not too bad considering this is West Virginia map.
Like I said as well, I want to see what Wesleyan does here offensively. Very interested to see how they'll play this. Coming in with a 4-round lead here. Going to be interesting to see if they're going to play it a little bit slower and maintain that lead, protect it, or if offensively they're going to be a little bit more fast-paced. It's going to definitely be interesting to see. They've established their strength as far as in 1v1 situations, 2v2, 3v3, you know. So I'm curious to see if they'll push a little harder. Looks like we actually might be getting a little bit of that into A here.
Nice. Art Cass was able to sit back and relax for a little bit. Hold on, might be able to get a second kill. No, Spiral.
Trades for Ari right there.
That's a good trade there, but there's a lot of damage done to Gamer Gus. Able to flash out. Creep gets a nice pick on DPS. Oh, Poppy gets the trade, though, on Clark.
Creep was lowered a little bit there as well, but manages to survive, which we love to see.
And on the lower scale, Creep is trying to open the door there. Gets the flash out. Gets targeted. Muzzled Yeti. Getting shot through the floor. Here comes the flash. Nice flash. Spiral Drips goes underneath. And Muzzled Yeti. Gamer Gus gets Muzzled Yeti there. So the moon and back. Creep gets Gamer Gus.
Moon and back gets... Oh, she almost had that nice long shot there.
And now it's just...
2v1 situation here against Creep.
Yeah, no, a Poppy with a triple, able to finish the round there. It's now a 9-4 situation, and Point Park loses the pistol round. It's not the thing that you want to happen there.
Absolutely
You want to
not.
win the pistol round, because now they're going to fully push you.
And now your buys are limited, so you know they're going to have the firepower, and they have confidence as well. So I think we'll see a very heavy push.
Yeah, I would try to 5-stack on a site. I would try to 5-stack on a site, try to keep the guns away.
It does look like they are going to 5-stack that A side there. We have 2 players sitting, one mid and one sitting A. I don't know if they're going to be prepared for this 5-stack push that we're going to see from Wesleyan right here.
No, I think they understand the idea of things, and it looks like they know that they're A. And Spiral Drips gets Creep immediately with the run and gun meta that I like to do. But
Hey, when in doubt, run and gun.
when in doubt, spray and pray. And Creep has fallen to his death there. It looks like we're gonna get some action here. What does Point Park do in this situation? Gamer Gus goes in, gets a kill, gets 2
kills.
to the moon. Clark gets a pick though. It's now a 2v3. It's still fine. They get a gun. Clark gets a gun as well.
Clark looking at Spiral coming into the smoke here. Didn't notice that, and
No, Spiral gets a triple, and now it's a 10-4 ratio. 6-game deficit. This might be all and over. West Virginia Wesleyan is pushing this to a, looks to me like maybe a 13-4 situation, maybe 13-6 situation.
definitely a drop in energy here from the players themselves. You know, Creep's not out there screaming as he usually is, and that's the energy we need to gain back here, especially pushing into these final rounds here. You know, even 1 or 2 wins back to back, I think Point Park could push this into a winning scenario. Wesleyan is just, they're going with those heavy, fast-paced pushes now, and you know, they've established it works, so I think we'll see a continuation of that.
Yeah, it looks like maybe a 5-stack push again.
Also
on
A side, yeah.
On A side again. If it works, don't fix. If it's not broke, don't fix it. Here comes the Molly from To the Moon and Back. They know that they're going to be on A. They might be rotating. Hold on, Jet is... Wait a minute. Creep is creeping behind them.
Yeah, I do see that. He's going to come backside here. Turns away. I don't know if they were able to spot his location beforehand. Looks like they have. Creep makes
No,
contact
that
and
was
falls
such bad
to a
timing.
Poppy.
That was such bad timing. Oh, Creep should have just waited.
Clark's going to get taken down by Spiral Drips on a good peek there right in the corner.
Yeah. No.
Looks like.
Oh, To the Moon and Back gets a kill. Spiral Drips gets the finish out To the Moon and Back.
We almost had a nice trade there. To the Moon and Back, just unable to finish it out. Looks like Poppy's going to spray into the smoke. Ari Cass pushing this corner on Gamer Gus, sees the footsteps, and is unable
Does
to
not
finish
get the
it.
finish. Nice kill by Muzzle Yeti, but does not get the finish there. Spiral gets a triple. The headphones have come off of Creep, and it looks like they might go for a timeout. Do I see a timeout happening here? No, Creep puts the headphones back. They're fine. They're good. You guys are good. 11-4, 7-point deficit. You need to understand you guys are doing... I think what happened, their offense, they did too much default.
Yeah,
They did
absolutely.
way too much default. Now this team is just fully pushing you.
See, that's what happens when you let a team have the confidence that they can push you that fast pace. That's when you get in danger, and you know that's a bit of what we're seeing now. They know that they can just 5-stack this A every time, and they're just going to out-manpower us. And it looks like we're going to see that exact same strategy again. As you said, if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Creep Nate's nice pick on a Poppy. Pulls back. Tries to get the pick on Gamer Gus. No. Ari gets a double. Hold on, wait a minute. Ari casts with a Spectre.
Looks like we're playing a game of trades here. And
Run and gun meta, baby. Run and gun meta.
Ari sitting back comfortably now in that corner.
It's a 2v3 situation. To the Moon and Back and Clark are coming at Ari Cass's aid.
Ari taking a peek behind the corner. Didn't see anything through the smoke there. But she knows that they're sitting right back there, and we're going to see how she plays this.
I'd play this as I'd usually do. I would just say, ball. Time to ball. Go around the corner and just spray and pray and kill.
Yeah.
Please.
We ball out right here.
Yeah,
Looks
this would be a dub. This would be a dub right here.
Looks like Ari's going to be sitting back here, just comfortably.
Just spray and
waiting.
pray, baby. To the Moon and Back. Gets a nice pick.
And Ari pushing in.
Nice
Clark pulls it off.
finish from Clark.
It's a Ari peaked just a little bit too late there, but Clark finishes beautifully, and we finally get that round win we've been looking for, bringing it down to only a 6-point deficit.
Running gun meta, yeah. You use the Spectre and you just run around and kill things.
To all the viewers out there, if you can't tell, Alex is a bit of a running gun meta guy.
I love taking a Spectre to someone's face and just going. Brrr. There's been times the amount of aces I've had just running and gunning with a Spectre. I've had at least 20 aces just running around. And
I'll tell you what, in every shooter I've ever played, I'm an SMG class player for a reason. The running gun meta is the way to go. Focus on movement, focus on speed, and you're unstoppable.
Well, the problem is that when you aim with a gun on like Valorant, you have to stand still.
That is very true.
But with the Spectre, you don't have to stand still. You can run around and try to get a kill, and it works. It's fine. But it looks like we're getting a 5-on-5 action. Might be able to plant perfectly. They just gave up the site, but
DPS pulls the spike plant right there. It's they should have seen the 5A push coming here. It's this 4th time in a row here.
Otaya in a really nasty angle. Clark gets a pick on Gamer Gus with the door open.
Looks like Creep's peeking in the corner there. Nobody's pushing through yet.
You need to look on the right side.
Creep's got a beautiful angle, but he's got to watch that right. You are correct.
Oh!
Wow.
Almost a really nasty kill, but the Point Park was able to finish it off there.
Oh, Poppy pulls a double, but Yeti and Ari both cancel. Ari is going.
Nice. Ari cast with the finish. Oh my gosh. Can we talk about that snipe, though, from Creep? That was nasty. That was disgusting.
If I do believe so myself, that is going to be a clip after this game, I can almost assure.
11-6. They brought. That's back-to-back rounds. Maybe we're seeing a little bit of a push. Hey.
Point deficit down to 5 only.
We're in a Point Park Way situation.
We are.
Comeback time.
Point Park is a second-half comeback team. We've seen that historically where when they win games, they win their games strongly in the second half here. Once they get that momentum going, it's really hard to stop them from rolling, and I think they've got the wheels on the bus moving now.
That goes back to the meme. Like, there was a meme back in the day. They got us in the first half, not gonna lie.
Yeah.
They had us in the first half, not gonna lie.
In the first half, but let's see if Point Park can hold through to their own. They know the heavy A push is coming.
Creep. Bink.
Creep. Creep. Snipe off on Gamer.
Bye-bye.
Beautiful. Otaya gets spotted. Pulls back a little bit here. Smoke sitting there in the doorway. And
Spiral going mid. Oh no, DPS gets muzzled Yeti. That's not a really good pick that you want to get. Spiral backing up.
Changes here. Everybody pushing into mid. Looks like Point Park's realizing that there's going to be a mid push. We might end up in a 4-on-1 situation right here, though, with Clark. Let's see if Clark can hold his ground. Looks like they're going to actually push around to B side now.
Oh, here comes the KO ult. And Mona is stuck behind.
And
wait a minute.
They're 4 deep. So this is going to be an interesting final stand here. Mona, Creep bumping in with her as well.
Dean PS is going to be able to plant. They're going to be able to set up site here. A 4-on-4 situation. Poppy is sitting middle. Maybe the timing will work out for us in the long run. Clark gets a nice pick on Dean PS. Well, Poppy though,
cutting that 4v4 down to a 4v3.
Oh, Poppy's sitting in the middle. Otaya gets creep.
Clark sees the location there on Otaya, misses the shots ever so slightly.
Clark gets the ult. Clark pops the ult. Can he do something about it?
3 fall. Clark sitting here.
Nice.
1.
No.
Fails to finish off.
12-6 ending right there. One more round. West Virginia Wesleyan puts round 1 into the books, and that would be our first round of the East 3 playoffs. Coach Chris is talking to Clark one-on-one to discuss to him about the ultimate usage that he used at the very end there, but I think they didn't notice I would have checked middle. I think, Poppy's just lurking mid. So, I mean, what else do you got? That's really unfortunate. So,
looks like we're seeing that heavy A push again. All 5 sitting in that passage into A here.
Creep trying to get a nice pick off, doesn't get a pick, gets hit for a couple though.
1 sitting back, looking behind. It looks like we're having flank protection there. We're pushing into A.
Ari cast with a nice pick on Otaya. That's a good pick. Ari cast with a double. Hold on, wait a minute, Ari. Give me some butter.
Looks like we have Dean PS looking to potentially push out, kind of sitting there in that corner. But if they push, I believe Ari's got a beautiful angle on it.
Yeah, Spiral is moving up tree. Clark, no Spiral's in tree. Does not get the pick, though. Unfortunate aim there from Clark. Where's Muzzled Yeti going?
Spiral's going to continue to push this.
I think they're looking to see if there's anybody on the other side. And I think...
Spiral sees nothing, turning back towards A here.
Yeah, Ari Cass is stuck in a situation.
Ari sees Opoppy there, nice angle.
Does not get the pick. Does a lot of damage to Ari Cass, though, and they were able to plant the spike.
Ari still sitting up top.
Maybe a Phoenix ult? Do we see a Phoenix ult here? Do I smell a Phoenix ult? Nope. Spiral kills Muzzled Yeti before the Phoenix ult ever exists.
Shooting on Ari Cass through the smoke there, and unfortunately they're going to finish her off.
So the moving back is in a bit of a pickle.
Spiral's low, though. She could definitely get that pick here.
Creep. Hold on.
Creep able to...
No, that was unfortunate. Spiral drips, gets the 4K, and that's going to end the round. 4 Point Park. West Virginia Wesleyan is going to get round 1 here in the East 3 playoff divisional round. And
absolutely, but one round does not defy the whole game.
Hey, that's their map. They showed up why they are comfortable on Ascent, which makes sense. They pulled out a nice, nasty 13-6? 13-6?
Yeah, 13-6 win there.
So, great performance. Let's give a round to Creep on the duelist. I think, though, they need to stop messing around and go back to what they're known to play.
So I actually do think going into the second map here, we may see some changes. Who knows what Coach Chris is going to work on out there, but you know, we're going with a classic map. We've seen Point Park play a million times now, and I think they're going to be confident in what they've historically done to win those matches.
Absolutely. Right here, right now, we are going to go on a break momentarily as we get ready for round 2, West Virginia Wesleyan, Point Park. My name is Alex Sears. This is Shannon.
Walsh.
Yes, sir, and we'll be right back. Bonjour.
Hola.
Ciao.
And welcome back to Point Park versus Wesleyan, West Virginia University. Got a number 6 seed versus a number 3 seed here. Wesleyan took an early lead on this first game, winning it 13-6. And we're interested to see what happens here on map 2.
My name is Nighthawk, and I'm here with special guest
Shandon Walsh.
Absolutely. West Virginia Wesleyan, a little tongue twister there. You had a little bit of an issue.
I've been struggling with that one all night.
West Virginia Wesleyan. Beautiful matchup that we have here at Point Park, West Virginia. Unfortunately, West Virginia ended up getting the first round, but with some new players on their roster that we have not been aware of. Dean PS, I mean, that's a new guy that we're not aware of. We're used to the Isaiah kid who's just rushing into sight and killing everything. But now we have this kid who's playing Initiator, who's playing KO, and we don't know what to do with him.
Absolutely. And I mean, Dean PS has been an interesting player to watch so far as well. We've seen a pretty heavy rush from the Wesleyan side, especially towards the end there, with them playing offensively, rushing A consistently. You know, they seem to be very tight on the 5-man push. So I kind of wonder how they're going to, you know, adjust to that coming into a Point Park favorite map right here.
I feel like when it comes to West Virginia Wesleyan, as we watch them play, they're very patient on defense and attack. They're extremely patient with this Point Park team, and they're understanding. Especially, I feel like most of their players are really high level players. Especially Opapi. I just heard from Ari Cass that he's immortal, which is insane. But like they're very patient. They're understanding of the game, and I think Point Park is so used to teams just straight up rushing.
Yeah, and you know it's interesting to see because we see Point Park pushing in areas without checking the corners, and Wesleyan, being the patient team they are, they're sitting those corners, and we've seen quite a few pickoffs that way already.
An absolutely beautiful sight as we move on to Haven, the map for Point Park University. And I'm excited to see the comps so we get to see. Whoa. All right. So the first time that I've ever seen this actually happen, never mind, they changed it. I thought Otea was going to go Waylay. And I think Waylay is out of the comp at the moment. You're not allowed to play Waylay in competitive play.
I believe you're correct. Yes.
So Waylay is out of the competitive play standard book. I think that's what the book said. But it looks like we might be getting a double Sentinel. No, double Duelist? Double Sentinel? Double Duelist?
Creep's still flipping back and forth a little bit there.
Yeah, Clark is going to be playing on Omen. Hey!
That's what I always said. Clark performs very well on Omen, so I think we're going to see a step up from Clark this game, absolutely.
Muzzled Yeti playing on the Reyna. The Reyna's back. Ari Cass playing on Breach. Understands how Breach works. Creep flipping through a lot of characters or agents, and To the Moon is going to be playing Cypher. We have ISO. That is wow.
That is an interesting pick from Creep right there.
ISO is so interesting because I've never seen him play ISO before.
I haven't either, and you know he locked that in pretty quick. Must be having some words with Coach Chris out there, and might have been a last-minute decision to make that change, and it's going to lead to some interesting play here.
Dean PS staying on the KO, Otea with the Jet staying on that. Spiral Drip staying on the Cypher. We'll have a Poppy staying on the Clo. Pretty similar setup we got here from the last game.
With the Breach, the Clove, the Jet.
It's literally the same.
Yeah, it's nobody changed.
Nothing changed for what we got over here for West Virginia Wesleyan. So that might go into advantage for Point Park because they just saw this comp. Now they know how to beat it.
Very interested to see how Creep is going to play this ISO. I don't think historically we have ever seen that before. I think this may be a first time for him.
First time playing ISO on Haven, first time playing ISO at all time.
And Clark back to his roots with the Omen. I'm excited to see this one.
Bringing an old but a goodie to the show. And it looks like Point Park is going to be playing defense first, which is a good sign for us because I feel like we are stronger on defense. However, we were unable to get the power on defense that we did in the beginning. And it looks like it might be an A push, and I think we're ready for it.
Absolutely, and as you were saying earlier as well, Muzzled Yeti and To the Moon and Back have both really stepped it up. I hope they can carry that energy into this game, and you know if that's the case, we'll be seeing some green.
Hold on, wait a minute. Muzzled Yeti pushing up with the Reyna. Here comes the blind. No, Muzzled Yeti gets picked off by Spiral immediately. Picks up the gun. Here comes the other team. ISO comes out. No, almost gets...
A little bit of damage on Creep, but not quite enough. Looks like Creep's going to get spotted again here.
Nice. Oh, Poppy's extremely low. Clark gets a pick on Gamer Gus. Otaya gets a pick on Clark. As they push in, Otaya gets a pick on Creep, and they have the A site for free. Ari Cast is sitting in the sewer.
Here. Dean's been their plant guy for a majority of this matchup tonight. Interesting to see.
Oh, nice pick by Mona. Oh, and Ari Cast sneaks behind Dean PS. It's now a 2v2 situation. Both Point Park players are very, very high on health. This could come down to who has the most health and who doesn't.
Poppy and Ari most likely to make this first contact.
To the Moon gets a kill. Spiral Drips. This could be to the Moon's favor. No, Spiral Drips gets the final kill onto the Moon and back. So close.
A lost round, but a very close lost round nonetheless.
Mona almost had a really good clutch there. But Mona is... What is that? 2 kills for Mona? I think she got 2.
Yeah, 2 kills from Mona off this first round here. Very interesting to see it. Really strong performance for her starting out here. Yeah, sitting at 2-1. Positive KD there from Mona. We love Mona, but that is a rare sight to see, and you know I'm proud that she was able to get those 2 kills off.
We're seeing a little bit of a force between Muzzled Yeti and Creep. Muzzled Yeti pulling out the Stinger, and Creep pulling out the Sniper, which we all know he's very good. Oh, Muzzled Yeti!
Off the rip. Creep gets the snipe on Gamer Gus as well.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Muzzled Yeti might pop off. No, Spyro gets the kill. Clark gets a nice pick on Otaye. Wait a minute. Here comes the push. Clark gets a pick on Otaye. Wait a minute.
Creep sitting back with a nice angle as well for support there.
Spiral and Dean are both sitting back. They have no idea what to do in this situation. Ari Cass is full health. He has Aftershock, so if he notices that someone's to his left, he could pull the Aftershock. Would be smart play.
Creep pushing in a little bit here, getting a little curious about those peaks. Looks like Creep's gonna get spotted.
Nice.
Gonna get the kill on Spiral Drips. Beautiful job.
Beautiful push by Point Park. They were able to scavenge the guns right there, and it was just absolutely gorgeous to take them away from A. This A push that they just love doing just got stopped immediately.
And that is called adaptation. They've seen that A push quite a few times, and they're finally adjusting to it, being able to play against it. And, you know, that was a great round that's going to leave us with great economy here. We see Clark topping it off with a 3-1 KD.
Should have closed this. All right. Well, do we have a knife angle? Does Dean have a knife angle here? It looks like... Oh, hold on. Pushing up. Otaye trying to get the kill on Muzzle Yeti. Muzzle Yeti gets Gamer Gus. Otaye gets the kill on Muzzle Yeti. Creep gets a kill on Dean PS. And it's just trades after trades. To the Moon and backs, looking at the signs. Clark gets a nice angle on a Poppy. Otaye gets Clark, though. Spiral Drips gets Creep. They're all low health. This might go down to health, and it's to the Moon and back, and Ari Cast again. Spiral Drips, and maybe to the Moon and back will get her revenge. Oh, they know. She knows. And they're going to leave. Wait, but do they know Ari Cass is behind them?
They do not. It looks
I don't think
Ari's
so.
going to make contact here coming down into C. Or, yeah, into C.
Nice. Yeah!
Both of the kills pulling it off.
Spray and pray meta, baby. That's what I'm talking about.
That was a very crisp high 5 here from Alex as well. I'm sure that came through onto the stream, which is awesome.
Yes, sir. That's what I'm talking about. Spray and pray meta. It always works, especially if they're low health.
Hey, get a load of this guy.
Ari Cass with a nice double.
I'm with him on the spray and pray meta, and, you know, as we just saw, it works. It really does.
They are just absolutely dominating them on A. So I think they might have to switch it up here. They might go C.
Everybody with a positive KD except for Yeti here, but only down by 1. We could see a historically high kill game, actually. Well-rounded, though. Well-rounded.
They're going C. Cypher knows they are going to immediately push off of that. Yeah, they're going to immediately push off of that. Here comes Otaye to get into sight. Nobody on site, though. They are going to go for a retake, I think.
Got 2 slowly pushing in.
Yeah, Spiral Drips.
Nice support sitting right in the middle there, and then you've got there's sort of a flank position coming off here.
Oh, Poppy gets a nice pick on Clark. Here comes the middle push.
Poppy rolling around backside here.
Oh, Creep knew he was behind them.
Absolutely. Good kill by Creep there.
Perfect timing. And gets Gamer Gus off the site. Wait a minute. Here comes the ult. Nice. Creep gets a double. Gamer Gus. Otaya gets Ari Cass. Otaya gets to the moon and back as well. It's now
on the 3 kill, also picking up Yeti.
Creep is on site.
Creep spots Otaya there. Not able to finish it off. Let's see.
Yeah, and I think they're going to be able to save. This is a 2-2 situation. Hold on. Creep needs to protect himself from middle so he doesn't get picked off here. And it looks like it's going to be... Oh, no. Spiral Drips gets the kill on Creep at the very last second.
And that's unfortunate, too, because, you know, those final kills after the spike detonates, that's just an econ kill at that point. And you never really want to give those kills up if possible.
That's unfortunate. It looks like the we are able to full buy here, but it doesn't look like West Virginia Wesleyan is able to fully buy here. Actually, yeah, it doesn't look like they're comfortable to buy unless here comes the Jet ult. So technically, it's still a full buy. Jet has popped the ult. They are uncomfortable on econ, though. If they do lose this round, this would be deficit. This would be a really unfortunate situation.
We do have Creep with very low econ as well at the moment. So, you know, either way, this is going to be a devastating economic round for each team. You know, a loss for either team could be the difference between winning the following round as well.
And it looks like Gamer Gus is going to be able to plant finally.
You have that whole 5 push C. 1 pulls off to watch the flank.
Yeah, DPS has pulled off the flank. There's no one middle. They're trying to get the guy. Oh, and I think Otaya might be in a situation. No, not able to get the kill there. Muzzled Yeti.
Sees both Muzzled Yeti and Ari Cass. Not able to do any damage, though.
Nice. Ari Cass with a nice kill there. Gamer Gus gets Creep. To the moon and back gets Gamer Gus.
Clark is able to get Opoppy as well there.
Yes, sir. Let's get it going, boys. That's what I'm talking about.
And you got a 4v1 situation. Tough to ever lose this. DPS goes down to Muzzled Yeti, and that's going to be a Point Park round win here after this defuse by Ari Cass.
That's what I'm talking about.
Beautiful round of play there by Point Park.
They're better.
Well, that's the adaptation, being able to overcome that 5-man. Sending DPS off gave Point Park an advantage there when they had the 5-on-4 situation. And, you know, that's the advantage you got to look for and take heave on.
And now it's a 3-on-2 situation. And I think they're going to be able to fully buy here. West Virginia Wesleyan's going to be able to fully buy here, but not comfortably.
Absolutely. Like we had said, you know, losing that round is economically devastating for either team, and Wesleyan having that economy issue now, looks like they might have been able to get the full buy, but you know that's going to leave them very empty-pocketed here. Gamer Gus going to make early contact here with Yeti, it appears.
Yep.
Both are aware of each other's locations. Let's see who's going to make the peek. And
here comes the Breach stun. Here comes maybe the Breach flash. Otaya is in a bit of a trouble here. Nice kill by Muzzled Yeti. Nice kill by Muzzled Yeti.
Otaya and DPS both fall to Muzzled Yeti. Gamer Gus trades back for Ari.
And gets a Poppy, gets Muzzled Yeti, so some trades there happening, but it went into Muzzled Yeti's favor with a double kill. Ari Cass could have done more there, but was not able to get the kill at the very end.
Spiral with the plant, got the plan off here. So it's going to be up to 3v3 situation, looks like. Most players sitting at full health here.
Clark is about to go on to C long. I don't think they know he's on C long, though. He might be able to fully get on the push here. Poppy with a nice kill. Poppy go to the double. Gamer Gus and saw Clark at the very end. Was able to get the kill. That's a 3-3. West Virginia Wesleyan ties it up again. This is going back and forth. That's what I'm talking about, this back and forth situation. And Point Park is able to full buy, but not comfortably again. Yeah.
Yeah, I get that economy comfortable. That's one of the main goals here. You know, Point Park needs a very strong win, just to ensure that, you know, that consistency with the full buys here. Looks like they're not comfortable on the full buy.
I think To the Moon and Back and Ari Cass aren't able to full buy here, but the other 3 are. That's good for the Duelists. The Duelists are able to full buy. A Poppy gets stunned, I think, by their own Breach stun, actually.
Absolutely. If you want somebody full buying and you have priority, force the Duelist into full buy, and you know the rest can figure it out.
Clark is sitting down, waiting for them to play. A. They're all sitting in there. Boy, if I was him, I would literally just full sprint behind them and just start spraying them to death.
We've got a very wide spread here, though, so if we see this 5-man push to A...
Nice creep with a nice kill. Otaye gets a nice pick. Clark gets a nice pick, but it is a double trade. Oh, Poppy might try to see if Aricast is there. Aricast, no.
Unfortunately falls to a Poppy.
Yeah, Poppy with a nice kill. I mean, it's a Vandal deficit. Muzzled Yeti on site. They don't know Muzzled
Gamer
Yetis.
Gus pretty low, sitting on the other side of the box here.
I don't think they know Muzzled Yeti's on site. Why didn't he look right?
To the moon and back, pushing in here on Opapi, and...
No.
Ooh, looks like
no cigar.
Damage going to be done there.
And Opapi with a triple kill with the shotty. It's a 4-3 deficit now. West Virginia Wesleyan has taken the lead.
1 point deficit on Point Park side. But one round is one round, and that can change very swiftly here. We're going to see how Point Park adjusts that. You know, they were very spread out.
Yeah, I honestly felt like that was such a good idea to challenge them from behind. However, Aricast could not get another pick there. If Aricast was able to get a pick there, that would have changed the round, and it would have definitely went to Point Park's favor. However, they weren't able to get the pick there because Aricast didn't have the gun for it.
Looks like they're going to set up with the same playstyle here, but West Virginia Wesleyan looking to push 5-man deep into C. So an interesting change of pace here. They're seeing nobody A side, and they're realizing, hey guys, they're probably making the call. Hey guys, they're pushing.
Nice, Muzzled Yeti with an absolutely banger of a shot right through the wall. He was able to kill Otaye, and now they're backing up because they don't have a chance here. They don't have Otaye to get them into sight. They don't have the jet to get them into sight. Maybe they'll lean on to Dean PS with the ult.
They were looking backside for the flank, but it's not there. But realizing now that they are probably going to have to push into C, in which case they will meet Aricast first here down the corner.
Aricast with a double. Oh, Muzzled Yeti was able to get a pick, but Opapi pops the ult. Here comes the Clove ult. They need to back up, though.
That spike is down as well from Dean PS here.
And Opapi trying to go for Aricast here, try to find Aricast, but I think Opapi's going to die there. Yeah, it's a 4v2 situation. Perfect for Point Park here.
Creep on Dean PS.
No.
Unfortunately, he's not able to get the shot off on time.
And Dean PS was not able to get the shot. Clark
3v2 in Point Park's favor here. Clark making contact,
nice.
Gets the kill against Spiral Drips.
And here comes the Molly, here comes a flash.
Looks like they see this through.
Nice, and Aricast was able to protect the diffuser, aka Clark, and now it's a 4-4 tied up. That's what I'm talking about, this back and forth. This is beautiful.
And this is exactly what we saw that first game here. That's Wesleyan was held. They took an early lead by 2 rounds, and Point Park was starting to come back a little bit. You know, I'm seeing a lot of that same momentum. Winning these rounds, I'm seeing the energy pick up a little bit. We can see more confidence in their setup and their positioning. I mean, they're doing a great job stopping that 5-man rush by bringing players behind. And we'll continue to see that strategy, I believe.
Absolutely. It looks like... Excuse me. Yeah, no, I'm good. So it was like a mid-yawn cough thing, so I was trying not to cough in the mic. But Ace, it looks like they might be going C long again. Here comes the blind.
C long, one watching.
Muzzled Yeti right through the Cypher wall. Was able to get that nasty headshot, and that breaches down. They don't have an ult at all.
Otaye carrying the spike. Looks like they're going.
Might be going B here, yeah.
Yeah,
Aricast is on site though. They have flash. Here comes the flash.
Yes, a little bounce on that flash.
No, DPS was able to get the kill. I think was able to get the gun as well, so that's unfortunate.
Otaye making the plan here.
Here comes. Wait a minute.
Scrambled comms telling
the cast. Oh, Creep was able to get the ult here. Nice. Creep gets a pick on Spiral. Oh, Poppy gets Muzzled Yeti though.
It's Trade City tonight.
Otaye. So the Moon and Back is in a pickle with Clove.
Mounted back kind of low right here. Not able to get Opapi, unfortunately. Falls out. Otaye gets Creep as well. We're looking at a 3v1
my goodness, no way. The timing with Clark. The timing. Oh my goodness.
Looks like Clark's going to make contact right here. Doesn't look to his left side, and that's going to be
yeah, he should have looked left. Unfortunate. He had really good timing. He should have just played it faster. 5-4, West Virginia Wesleyan take the lead again. It is a back-and-forth situation. Clark is disappointed in himself.
Got to remember the golden rule here, Clark. Look both ways before you cross the street. It's, most importantly, especially with Wesleyan, they like to sit in those corners, and it's been a danger point for us this game.
Yeah, I was going to say, they like to sit in the corners and like to run you over with a car. So
look both ways before you cross the street, folks. That's important in life and important in Valorant here.
Yeah.
And we got to relay that message to Clark here.
Before he gets ran over by another. Looks like, yeah, he's going to teleport. And it looks like they're going C again. They're doing an absolutely good job on C. They need to revert back to their C situation, their A situation to C.
Looks like everybody's sitting there and C waiting for it. They know it's coming.
Oh, Ari Cass with a nice headshot through the smoke. That's the third time I've seen that this game. They've done it back to back to back where they've gotten a headshot through the smoke. Someone check their monitors, because I think they're cheating. But anyways, and it looks like Dean PS is going. Oh, Creep found him on the way back.
Picked off by Creep. Beautiful. Clark was sitting there ready for it, but Creep just beats him to it. Yeti gets the one against Gamer Gus as well, and Otaya trades back for Yeti. Moon it back.
Oh my goodness, Clark.
Clark answers with Spiral as well, and we're seeing a 3v1 situation. Looks like Otaya's going to do some damage on Clark here. But
I think they're going to be able to get the spike here into the moon and back. Yes, sir. Thrifty.
Beautiful.
That's what I was talking about.
A thrifty victory.
Yes, sir. That's my boy Muzzled Yeti. He's that guy.
So what's our round deficit looking like here?
5-5. That's it's all tied up, baby.
See, that's the best part of the deficit when there is no deficit. Point Park keeping their heads in the game here, pushing this one into tie. It's this is the fourth time we've seen a tie so far this match here. And,
yeah, the lead has been changing. I think we've had 4 different lead changes.
Yeah, 4 different lead changes. Muzzled Yeti pulling up top with 10 kills, 9 deaths, 3 assists here.
It's that Reyna, baby. He's on that Reyna. He's changed. It's like Clark with the jet on Clove, or not Clove, on Icebox.
True.
Ataya pops the ult, so we'll see a jet ult here. They are going to be aggressive on the C push again.
Looks like they're adjusting for that aggressive C push. You got one looking backside here, looking for that flank coming in behind. Otaya on.
Oh no, Otaya's unfortunate. DPS and Gamer Gus was able to get the kick. TMPS
with double a Yeti and Ari Cast both right there. Looks like they're getting the plan off. DPS pulls it off. We got a 4v2 situation, not in favor of Point Park, in favor of Wesleyan. Looks like they're going to be pushing in backside of C here.
Yeah, Clark is in the backside of C here. Here comes the flash. Here comes the smoke. Oh, he smoked himself.
And looks like Clark's
Poppy was able to get the kill on Creep naturally.
Clark's going to push through, doesn't realize that positioning there. Has to look to that right side first, and unfortunately misses it. You know, it's back and forth leads, though. Wouldn't be surprised if Point Park takes this next one, and we're back to a tie position.
6-5. You know what I'd laugh? If it becomes 6-7. That would be funny.
That would be funny. I wish I was 6'7", but I'm standing.
You know who else is 6'7"? LaMelo Ball. But anyways, yeah, moving on to the 12th round and the last round before the switch. What are you doing? Stop.
Our director Nate is quite a wild man. We absolutely love him, though. He does a tremendous job with these streams, and you know, being in this hot room with him is awesome.
We have 3 ultimates, and they just popped the KO ult. We're going to see a absolute bloodbath on this C site.
DPS with the really early plant, revealing your positioning and C, the 5-man push. I'm sure Point Park saw that one coming.
Here we go. Alt City.
Here
Bank.
it is.
They took him, and he's dead.
Creep with the ult here. Is he going to be able to pull this off? Looks like he is going to hit those shots, get the kill against Otaya.
Oh, and here comes the breach ult. They're all stunned. Clark is stunned, though.
Clark falls to Gamer Gus, unfortunately. Moon and Backmount answers with Opapi. Gamer Gus and Spiral Drips both getting kills against Art Cass.
It's now a 3v2 situation. Creep in the back.
2 now.
Hold on.
Creep on Dean PS. Not going to see him.
Nice.
Spiral Drips. Creep, watch that right side. Looks like Creep is going to see it.
No, 7-5 deficit. They could have had that round, kept it 6-6, but it's now 7-5. If they win next round, though, it's 6-7.
And we're going into the flip of sides here as well. Going to be an interesting half, I think.
Yes, interesting half indeed. So down 2 rounds. This is not where they want to be. They want to get ahead. But now we're here, and they're on the attack, and the attack... Oh, here... Oh.
Look at that beautiful smiling
That's
face.
the smile of Ari Cass. You know what's going to happen. You know what's going to happen.
Hey, guys, watch this. I'm about to go off right now.
Watch this, guys. My name is Jerry. I'm cracked at Valorant, and I'm about to pop off.
That's Alex for you. Sometimes we really wonder what's going on in his head.
Nothing's going up in their head. Oh, and a little shout out to Caleb, Clash That Caleb, who just walked into our front door.
Hey.
Yes, sir. He's gonna walk. Oh, he's not gonna walk right back out. You want to say hi to the viewers?
No.
No. Okay. All right. Bye. Looks like To the Moon and Back and Ari Cass was able to get a pick, and we're in a 4v3 situation on C site. Ari Cass with a beautiful plant there. Ari Cass, hey, watch this. Exactly what she drew up.
Got a 4v3 here, but a little bit of a health deficit here with To the Moon and Back. You know, we're sitting at about... Yep.
Ari Cass with a nice muzzled Yeti. Nice. Oh, DPS is super low, and Creep with the final. And guess what the score is? 6-7. Yes, sir.
You talk LaMelo, but I like Jello. You know, swerve in the corner one.
Oh, yeah. It doesn't matter. What are LaMelo, Lonzo, Jamello, Point Park and 5.
And 5. Well, it's looking like we're in a one round deficit here. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if we're able to pull this up. That energy flowing a little bit outside. We can see with the players. Everybody seems to be smiling a little bit more. Always a good sign.
And it looks like the other team is able to. The other team is forcing, which is not the right move here. If they lose this,
Got contact coming out C, and
no way.
double from O'Poppy, but
No, Gamer Gus with. No. And it does look like it's going to go to West Virginia Wesleyan unless Creep can pull off a 4K. I mean, we've
seen crazier things.
Oh, no. Yep. The DPS was able to do it. They forced by and they bought, and it worked out perfectly for them. And now it's 6-8.
Two-point deficit here.
Yeah, 2-point deficit. They're trying to keep that 2-point deficit because, you know, every game that they've lost against West Virginia Wesleyan, it's been a 2-point deficit.
Absolutely, and you know that's something we don't want to see again today. We want to push this into the decider, even though it is an interesting map pick. I'd like to see it played.
I'd like to see the Point Park make an upset.
Absolutely.
So upset city, baby. That's what I'm talking about.
Looks like they might force again. Yeah.
Yeah, they're
setting up for that force.
No, they're able to buy here. So the reason why they force. So the way that forcing works is that they're just and To the Moon and Back was able to get a Poppy, but now it's just down to Clark, and Clark is by themselves. Excuse me. What am I watching? Okay. All right. Well, DPS was able to get the final kill. It's 6-9, which is a famous rapper name. 6ix9ine.
I don't know. Is he still though?
He's not that famous anymore. And it looks like Coach has decided to go and take a timeout. He's like, listen up, guys. We're not doing so well. We're in a 3-point deficit. Let's lock it in.
If you're Coach Chris, what are you telling the players right now? What adjustments would you make?
I don't think I can say that on stream.
Fair enough.
So I'm not gonna say.
We can't expose the strategy.
Yeah, I don't think I can. No, not even the strategy. It's not even a strategy. It's just what I would say to the team.
Oh, it's a little bit vulgar. Okay.
Yeah.
Understood.
So I'm not.
We are seeing good performances out of a few players, though.
Absolutely.
If I'm coach, I'm also going to go ahead and congratulate Yeti, who's putting up peak performance as well.
Yeah.
Definitely, compared to last game, a huge step up. You know, Clark on the Omen, not performing how typical Clark Omen goes, but he's off the groove a little bit, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, they're getting into the groove. The energy's been up this game, which is a really good sign. It's only a 3-point deficit. You know, the 3 rounds can make a lot of difference in this game, and it's looking like we're going to see here what happens.
It looks like they might be, honestly, with the way that they've been pushing lately, like the other team has been pushing, I would default because they're like really, really pushing.
Yeah, I agree. And it almost seems like Wesleyan's kind of trying to funnel them into C. It seems to be that's where they like the battleground to be. So it's going to be interesting to see how Point Park's going to reflect that.
Yeah. Not able to teleport up there. Clark looks like he was trying to teleport up there.
Very early contact about to happen with Otaya and Clark here.
That's what I'm talking about there. They're pushing them. They're trying to push them. They need a... Creep gets a nice pick on Otaya. That's what I'm talking about. Play the default. Wait for them to push.
Was that Dean DPS? Yeah, Dean PS sitting there right as well. I'm not going to peek. Just going to sit there.
Gamer Gus with a pick. Was able to back off. Ari Cass, blind.
He's Gamer Gus blinds. Not able to get the kill before the blinds. Opoppy gets to the moon and back. DPS picks off Creep. Still nothing with Ari on the other side there. But looks like Clark's going to make
nice. Clark was able to get the pick. Gamer Gus, though, gets a pick on Clark.
Ari could go for that trade on
nice.
Gus. There it is.
Oh, and almost got the headshot, but Spiral Drips was able to get the final kill. It's 10-6. They haven't won a round in the past 3. So it is a win streak for West Virginia Wesleyan. This is not the way that you want to go out on your map because the confidence just plummets. So hopefully we'll see a little bit of catching up. It looks like Point Park is going to force buy, which is what I like to see. Oh, and Clark's buying a Vandal. So not really a force. Yeah, really force buy. So really big force play, actually. Because now they have Vandals and stuff, and it looks like they are trying to play...
Clark and Otaya making this first contact for the second time. Seems to be a pretty consistent course of action here.
Muzzle Yeti was able to get Gamer Gus all of a sudden.
Right out of the corner. That's what happens when you check your corners before you push into an area.
You get a nice kill right there. That's what I'm talking about. And Dean PS is sitting next to the smoke. Clark is sitting back, and it looks like Opoppy. Oh, the ISO ult didn't affect him, though. It's weird. I thought that would actually hit him. DPS does not check his corner, and Clark hits him with a head tap.
It's a little taste of your own medicine there.
And Opoppy gets the kill. Opoppy gets another kill on Clark. What was Clark doing?
Spiral drips on Ari. Yeti trades back for Opoppy.
And Opoppy pops the ult.
Muzzled Yeti.
They need to back off. Opoppy has ult. Nice. Muzzled Yeti with a 4K. Muzzled Yeti with a 4K to end the round. Okay, Yeti.
Good play by Yeti. Creep to finish it off there. It's
bada boom.
Is that the first Yeti 4K?
No, there's definitely been one more. I think he's had one, at least one. I would say, yeah, no, that's definitely like the second one, I think. But hey, round has changed around. Things are looking good.
The Yeti has been unmuzzled. He is now releasing the beast. Nice little 4K leading off with kills as well.
Hey, you forget about the number. There's 40 of them now. he's unreleased the muzzle. There's Yeti coming out, and he's got 40.
41st Yeti on the way. He's also been holding a very good econ as well.
Very good rounds for Muzzled Yeti. He's definitely showing why he should stay on the team next semester, considering we're getting new players. To the moon and back is waiting for this push.
First contact on Otaya there. Nothing happens with it.
Oh my goodness, no way.
Opoppy pulls Clark off as well. Arcas going for the Otaya kill. Does not get it, unfortunately.
Are we serious? We're just letting Otaya just bury us. This is unfortunate. To the moon and back. And Muzzled Yeti.
Both pushing in together here.
Nice pick by Muzzled Yeti, but was not able to finish it off. It's now on 11-7. Deficit 7-11. My favorite convenience store, other than Sheets.
I was going to say, I'm a Sheets guy through and through. You know, if you're not from the Pittsburgh area, Sheets is the biggest thing around. And Sheets! You know, you can confidently say, I've been in the South. Sheets is better than Wawa by light years.
You know, I have a Baltimore friend who would say that Wawa is way better than Sheets, and we always argue. It's so annoying. Muzzled Yeti is the top of the leaderboard with 16 kills, 15 deaths, 6 assists.
Now, I wonder what Muzzled Yeti's personal PR for kills is.
This is actually it.
I was going to say, we have to be...
No. His PR is 21.
Now, if Point Park's able to hold down for a few more rounds, we may actually see that personal best get shattered today.
Might have to bring Muzzled Yeti into the conference booth.
You know, I should stop talking about the comeback before I jinx it out. Looks like Creep makes contact there with Otaya, unfortunately falls. Clark's sitting up top. Don't know if they're aware of his positioning, but that's a very good position to be in.
I would back up there, Ari. I wouldn't challenge that.
Clark on Otaya.
Are you serious?
Spots. He misses the shots. That's going to be Clark's location.
And then he just TP out and gets killed immediately. What was he thinking? Gamer Gus gets a nice pick
Good TP, just in a bad position. You know, if he was a little further around that corner, it would have been a great
Nice
move.
pick. Ari Cass gets Gamer Gus.
To the
And Dean PS gets the final kill, 12-7. This right here is possibly the last round that not only you'll see our Valorant players play for this semester, but the last round for them to even try to make a playoff run. And West Virginia Wesleyan would move on to the semis.
Fortunately for this team, though, we have no seniors, so we will be seeing this team return in the fall.
Yes.
Mona and Clark will be entering their last season, whereas Muzzled Yeti and Ari both have. I guess Ari has 3 seasons or 2.
No,
seasons
Ari graduates next year.
Really?
Ari's graduating early this year.
Okay, so we lose those 4 players, and then Muzzled Yeti has 3 years remaining.
Yes. Oh, nice pick. Creep gets a nice pick on the Bullfrog.
Creep on Dean PS. Otaya is sitting
nice.
there. They know that. Creep is ready for it. Those two have been sitting together, pushing that backside this entire game, and Creep was well prepared.
Hold on, wait a minute. This might be a run. They might try to get a run, try to make this a tie game.
Ari making the plant here. Seems to be protected on site. Nothing coming her way. The plant is down. Successful. Clark's got to watch this right side here. Not sure if he sees.
Yeah, it looks like Spiral Drips is looking around, trying to get picks. Oh, Poppy is blind, though.
Creep
nice.
Gets a kill. Ari gets a kill. Trading off for Yeti here. Clark gets the final one that ended out against Gamer Gus.
Creep with a triple.
Got to cut your deficit to 4 rounds right here. It is 12-8. Very nice sounding number, but I'd like it to be 12-8 in our favor here at Point Park. So we're going to see if they can continue this momentum. Keep this thing alive.
Oh, baby, a triple. Oh, yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
3 rounds straight, and they could survive this and push it into extra rounds, and that's what we want to see.
Otaya with the operator. If they lose this round, this might be unfortunate. Oh, here comes the ult. This is an ult. It looks like the ult might come out for Creep.
DPS and Otaya both pushing that A long there. They both are.
Yep, he got one. Spyro, come here, boy.
And we don't get to see if Creep is going to get that ult. He does.
He does get the
kill against Spiral.
He gets the kill against Spiral. Hold on, we're kind of cruising right now. Watch behind you.
Cancels the plant.
Watch behind you, Archer.
Taking some damage. Going to go back in for the plant. Looks like Moon in the back is going to get Poppy. Awesome. Got the 4v3.
DPS Creep gets Otaye though. Gamer Gus gets the Moon.
2v2.
Nice Creep with a 4K.
Another Creep 4K right there. Keeping it alive. It is now 12-9 deficit cut down to 3.
What I'm talking about.
Remember, we said Point Park is a second half team. They like that comeback action. They like to put us on the edge of our seats just to come back and wow us all. And I think we're seeing a little bit of that action begin here.
Oh, the mental's high. The mental's high. It is a 9-12 deficit. They need 3 rounds to tie it. West Virginia Wesleyan just needs 1 to complete the sweep. Is that a judge? Uh-oh. Well, we're getting a full buy, but a judge in the action is not.
This could be an interesting round right here.
Yeah, because
DPS and Otaya looking the same way they typically do. It looks like nobody's going to push in to protect that. They're just going to sit there comfortably.
I'd sit there comfortably anyways.
Creep's kind of teetering on the edge there. Looks like they're going to make contact here. There we go. They are aware of the location.
Yes.
Muzzled Yeti gets the Otaya.
Nice pick from Muzzled Yeti.
No, Dean is sitting there as well. Gamer Gus takes Mona.
Dean PS is trying to get away.
Dean PS successfully pulls out, but he doesn't know he's about to be met with Clark.
No, Dean PS was able to finish Clark off, but Dean PS is really low.
Dean PS didn't know Clark was there. It appears Clark didn't know.
Nice, gets a nice kill, but Creep was stuck.
Spiral trades off for Creep after he gets Dean PS. Got a 2v3 situation in favor of Wesleyan here. Ari, though, looking to help with the plant covering. Not watching that right side, though, which could be a danger.
Ari Cass was able to get 1. He gets 2. He gets 2. Ari, oh, Poppy, Muzzled Yeti. It's all Muzzled Yeti up. It's all
1v1. Muzzled Yeti. The spike is down. Muzzled Yeti sees the location. Let's see what happens here.
Come on.
Muzzled Yeti's prepared. Knows the location.
Yeah! Muzzled Yeti!
Muzzled Yeti gets the kill, wins the round. It is now 12-10. That deficit is cut down to only
Let's go.
2. We are seeing Point Park surge a little bit here. Muzzled Yeti feeling it, Creep feeling it. Even Mona and Ari sitting there with smiles on their faces, and we.
Dude, my heart dropped, dude. When I seen Muzzled Yeti in that 1v1 opportunity, I was like, oh, please. Oh, Poppy is one of those great. Well, Poppy is one of the best players on West Virginia Wesleyan. The fact that he was able to win that round, oh my
and you know
goodness.
Patience in the slow peak. We saw Yeti sit back there. And
also,
wait.
I want to look at this. I want to look at the leaderboard. He has beaten his PR. 22 kills. He has 22 kills.
Muzzled Yeti.
Yes, sir.
Personal best today. And let's continue to pump that forward as Point Park goes and tries to make this comeback here.
Yes, sir.
Strong surgeons here. Wesleyan still.
Poppy gets the kill on
comfortably
Clark.
2 rounds ahead.
Yeah.
At this moment, any win for Wesleyan, this round or next, even if Point Park picks this round, is going to be game. Going to be interesting to see how they change their play style here. Looks like they're going to stick pretty similar to what they've been doing.
Yeah,
This time you got Gamer Gus and Dean PS sitting together. Very interesting combo. Typically we see the Otaya Dean PS works very well. Looks like they're going to switch it up a little bit, leaving Otaya alone backside there.
Yeah. This is Cypher ult is in effect. Or no. Yeah, Cypher ult in effect. Creep is known and to the moon and back getting shot at here.
Not taking much damage though, so still holding her ground very well. She's gonna retreat back around.
Oh, Muzzled Yeti falls for the trap again. They're just following up in the middle.
Oh, Poppy taking that kill. Ari going for the plant here. Gets the kill on Dean PS. Probably going to turn
Gets
back.
2. To the moon gets 1.
Ari making that plant now. Taya gets Mona.
It's just Creep and Ari. This is perfect. The 2 of the best players versus a Poppy and Otaya, 2 of the other best players.
2v2. Spike is down.
Who's the better player?
Locations are revealed. We have contact made. They don't see Ari in the...
Oh, Ari Cast with a triple. Can we make it 11-12? Yes! Ari Cast with a 4K! Yes!
Ari Cass bringing it home, keeping that alive. It is now 12-11. Wesleyan could still win it right here, but if Point Park is able to pull this win, that would push us into extra rounds, and that's exactly what we want to see. We want extra rounds to commence. That way Point Park has a fighting chance to win this, and this is one of the strongest surfaces we've seen. Point Park really is playing
I lied. Creep has 22 kills.
Role.
Creep has 22 kills. I lied. Muzzled Yeti hasn't hit PR yet.
Muzzled Yeti could hit PR. They take this round. He needs 3 kills to break that. Creep sitting at 22 and 16, looking pretty good. Ari sitting at 18 and 17 as well. And Mona with 11 kills, which is more than she's had on the season so far.
Yeah. Dean PS is going to back up. They need this round.
Dean PS Otaya set up, coming back again. They are going to sit A mid here. Looks like they're going to be pushing it a little harder. Yeti does not see them, unfortunately. And it's smoked out, so Yeti has the safety net.
Yeah, Taye, and here comes Dean PS. They might slowly push into...
There it is. Oh,
nice. Creep gets 1.
Yeti, or, yeah,
Creep.
Spotted by Yeti. Creep gets the kill.
Creep gets the kill.
Creep barges in. Dean PS sees all 3, not shooting yet. He gets all 3 of the kills
Oh, my goodness.
Look both
now,
ways.
Mona gets one. Mona gets one.
Across the street there, folks. That was a nice 3 kill by Dean PS. Great play style sitting in that corner.
Clark is... This is where what I'm talking about. Clark
sees Poppy.
No, doesn't get the kill. They need... This is unfortunate. It's to the moon and back by herself.
Her location's revealed to Spiral, who spots her. Looks like Spiral's not going to be able to see through that smoke there. And Poppy coming around the left side here. Mona's not looking to the left, and that is going to be an unfortunate situation for
she
her.
did.
Was Poppy able to get the peek off in time to see her location? That's a good question to ask now.
Oh, no.
Mona's still protected here. Unseen. She wasn't able to be seen through the smoke either, which is very good. Looks like Poppy's pushing around the side behind Mona. She sees
Yeah, and it looks like that's going to be it. West Virginia Wesleyan gets the final ending and the sweep against Point Park University. Number 3 West Virginia Wesleyan takes the win, and they will move on to the semifinals, where they will be playing against whoever is playing, I think, I'm not sure. I haven't looked at the bracket in a while.
Should be the 5 seed and 2 seed.
Yeah, the 5 seed and the 2. No, they'll be playing, because the 4 seed and 5 seed play. They'll be playing against the 2 seed.
2 and 7?
No, the 2 and 3.
Okay.
It'll be 2 and 3. So, or no, it'd be 1 and 3.
Okay.
Yeah, it'd be the 1 and 3. So that is going to be the last game for Point Park Esports and Point Park Esports for Valorant. The Valorant playoffs is finally over for us here at Point Park.
It's an unfortunate end to the Valorant season here. But like I said, this is a team that's returning. We've seen quite a few changes in personnel this year, as well as play styles, a lot of different strategic options. And it's going to be interesting to see how they'll carry this into the next year and make those changes in the fall. I think we're working on building a very strong Val team here, and we'll have some new players coming in as well. It's going to be interesting to see where those changes get made and, how it'll affect the chemistry overall. I really think we had surprising performances today from especially Yeti, and then to the moon and back definitely pulled her weight as well. And, it's always nice to see Mona perform like that. We don't get to see much, but she was a pretty key player today.
Unfortunately, in that situation, though, they did not check their corners. They didn't look both ways when they crossed the road, and that they got hit by the car.
Yeah, and it's unfortunately the small mistakes and the lack of discipline with those that comes and bites you in the end of it. I would say overall, very good game. Very good game. They kept that second match alive as long as they could, and we saw a lot of players shine through. The main problem was just being disciplined with those small mistakes, and that's something you work to correct. That's something the team has to come together, put their heads together, and figure out, hey, how can we make these changes? What did we do wrong? And luckily, they have an entire summer to do that now.
So that's going to do us here in the booth and for the Point Park Esports facility. We will see you next Monday when we have Point Park Gold playing against whoever the 3 seed and 6, or no, not 3 seed and 6 seed, 5 seed and 4 seed play. Whoever wins that, that's who they play. So we'll see you guys next Monday for Point Park University Rocket League Gold.
Tune in for Rocket League playoffs. You won't want to miss it.